Greetings. It is Commodore Stu Friedman here. I'm here on a beautiful Easter Sunday. The club is open and quite lively today. I'm actually here with my Uncle Joe, Commodore McGinnis, and we were just talking downstairs that the last time we saw each other was at the club just before Easter last year. And so we're officially, everybody I think is now in the era of thinking about what our lives were like a year ago or a year and a couple of weeks ago. I think if you'd have told me 54 weeks ago what happened in 2020 and the beginning of 2021, I'd been pretty freaked out and flabbergasted. But if you told me just a year ago today that I'd be on the bridge of the club ship on a beautiful day, having a great meal, having a delicious cocktail, and spending some time socially distanced with some friends and family, I'd have been thrilled. This has been a tough year, but we've weathered through it better than I ever expected during the midst of it. And we're not out of it yet. We're still working hard to keep people safe, but the club's doing well. And in terms of the club, first of all, our numbers look much better than I would have thought. Our membership dipped a little bit last year compared to normal, but in general, we had the typical ebbs and flows of membership over the last year that we normally do. New ads are picking up. We're adding some new members every month, and this is without the ability to do any real in-person promotion. We're seeing great stuff with membership, and we're optimistic that that will continue. So our membership's doing well, finances are doing perfectly fine, and volume's picking up. So starting on Wednesday, we open for lunch. We expect boatyard season has begun. People will start coming by, and as I'll mention in a moment, we expect this to be sort of the beginning of the ramp up into a terrific season. First of all, it's very exciting. We have junior sailors here on weeknights racing 420s. Our Colgates are in the water, and the insane people that like sailing small boats in rough water in April in Chicago are doing frostbiting. They did their first set of races yesterday. Our racing schedule is out, and it looks by and large like our racing schedule in prior years. We were expecting a full slate of racing and racing events. We're still not sure what's going to happen with the social events associated with racing. But we hope to be able to do some things, and at least more than we did last year, if it's not completely back to normal. Our cruising fleet has done amazing things, again, to plan for a semi-normal season this summer, and the calendar will be out soon. It's very exciting. I don't have pictures for you yet, but Nick assures me our dock work has begun. The work to replace the electrical and the plumbing on our dock. The contractors have been in and out of here, and we expect before the season is in any kind of full swing that our dock will be back to normal. And if you do come by the club, check out lake levels. I'm looking at our dock right now, and I can see at least 2.5 boards exposed on the dock. So lake levels are about a foot lower than they were this time last year, and the Army Corps of Engineers expects that to continue. The last thing for on the water, which is personally for me is really exciting, is we're going to have a skipjacks program. We found a safe way to do it. We have a slew of interested captains, and we're getting some really good interest in terms of students. So I think the world is ready to get back on the water after seemingly a longer and colder and more isolated winter. And I think between the racing, the cruising, and training, folks will come back to Columbia. Lastly, so number one, the club is doing well. Number two, our on the water stuff is looking great for this summer. Number three, our social and drinking and dining activities are really starting to ramp up. So our activities committee, just like our on the water activities, are trying to plan for a semi-normal summer. Within the constraints of the pandemic and what the state and the city allow us to do. We also, during the pandemic, had almost out of necessity the need to renovate and think creatively about how we use the ton of space we have on this club for actual drinking and dining. Our library is now a fully functioning, a wonderful space for dining. Our first mate's cabin that was done last year is open. The tent is heated, so during our shoulder seasons, we can have lots of great events in the tent. But we also expect to evolve this summer in how we use certain spaces. We know that our bar is overcrowded. We know our dining room is underutilized. And as members, you should expect this summer to see sort of experiments. And some of them will go poorly, but some of them will go really well. And the ones that go well may turn into permanent installations for drinking and dining. And it could include the upper salon, it could include the boardroom, it could include parts of the tent and the aft deck. We don't know yet, but it should be fun learning how we can better use this club ship. So the club is doing well in terms of numbers. The On the Water program looks terrific this summer. The drinking, dining, and activities program looks good this summer. And a lot of that is because we were able to keep our employees, not only keep them employed, but also keep them compensated when we couldn't employ them. And all of that is because of our members. So normally every year we raise about $30,000, $35,000 for our Christmas fund. This year, between our Christmas fund and our fund from last spring, we raised over $170,000. And I think somewhere about 70% of our active members contributed to one or both funds. It is incredible. I have yacht clubs from around the Great Lakes calling to ask how we did it. And the short answer is the club didn't do anything, its membership did it. You guys were rock stars. We and our employees owe you dearly, and we look forward to repaying you with fun times at the club this summer. So I won't take up any more of your time. I'm going to go back downstairs and enjoy a couple more drinks and some food with family. Happy holidays, happy spring, and look forward to seeing you around the club this summer.